I'm in Lenoir, North Carolina, a town in western North Carolina, and this is about as close as I can get to the internet. Yes, here in western North Carolina, you can actually find the location of the cloud, or at least part of it. This is Google's $1.2 billion data center, and inside it houses the actual physical location of the zeros and ones that make up a portion of the internet. Inside, Google indexes the information used for search, houses the emails in your Gmail inbox, and may even contain the file representing the video you're watching right now. So as I was filming outside of the Google data center, a security guard rolled up on me, kind of a nebbish fellow, just comes up to me, he's like, you can't take pictures here. What are you doing? I was outside of Google's property proper. I was taking pictures from the outside of the clearly marked fence there. I don't think I was doing anything wrong, but the guy comes up to me, he's like, it's company policy that we don't allow people to take pictures of our facility. And I'm like, but I'm not on your facility. He's like, well, it's company policy. And I kind of argued with him back and forth a little bit, but in the end I just decided to leave because I didn't want to like cause a big incident or anything like that. But it's like, I don't work for you, Google. You don't get to tell me what to do. I told him that online, and this is true, on one of their websites, they have a can I take pictures, and it says you can as long as you are outside of the grounds you're more than welcome to. I don't have to follow your rules, man. So anyway, yeah, this is the film that Google doesn't want you to see. About 45 minutes south in Maiden, North Carolina, the world's largest technology company also has a multi-billion-dollar data center. Here, Apple, in a 505,000 square foot plus facility, one of the world's largest, houses its iCloud and the services that used to fall under its iTunes banner. And along with Google and Apple, Facebook, Disney, and many other companies also have giant data centers here in western North Carolina, which I thought was sort of weird. Why do these giant technology companies invest billions of dollars in data centers in rural western North Carolina? These are the kinds of questions that lead me on long Google searches and weird videos like this. And my first thought to answer that question was tax incentives. And I know tax is boring, but stay with me real quick because I think this story is interesting, not just for how these companies have come to be in this part of the country, but also because these sorts of buildings and data centers, they affect all of us. So just like the Amazon HQ2 situation from last year, I assume that North Carolina and the local municipalities ponied up a bunch of tax breaks to attract these corporations to their areas. And they did. But again, like the Amazon HQ2 thing, we found that almost anywhere in the country is willing to do that. So there has to be something else that's attracting these corporations to spend, again, billions of dollars here in western North Carolina. There has to be some other incentive. So what else does western North Carolina have to offer? Well, two things. The death of the furniture and textile industries here in this part of the country, and about half of the world's fiber optic cables. As I've talked about before on this channel, this area of the country used to be ground zero for the furniture and textile manufacturing industry. But in recent decades, that industry has left the country outsourced for cheaper labor and lower production costs. But what was left behind was an infrastructure to power all of those factories and mills. Duke Energy, the largest power provider in the area, found itself with an excess of coal and nuclear power that it could sell on the cheap. And housing at least a portion of the world's repository of human knowledge does not come cheap when it comes to power. And though companies like Apple have moved to be greener, Apple itself says that its data center is now powered 100% by renewable energy. The cheap power that Duke Energy can provide is bringing these data centers to western North Carolina. In addition, because of a lot of that textile infrastructure, over time this area became a huge manufacturer of fiber optic cables. So you've got tax breaks, cheap power, the cables you need, and a climate that's surprisingly stable and conducive to cooling the racks and racks of computers necessary to house all this data. That's why these companies are here. But why am I here? Why do I care? Well, for one, I'm weird and this is the kind of shit that keeps me up at night on Wikipedia. But also I wanted to see the internet. I wanted to see the buildings that cost billions of dollars and house so much of, well, my stuff. Your stuff. Pictures on my phone. Sure, they're on my phone, but they're also backed up inside there. My emails are in there. My YouTube videos. The cookies that track me and you and know what I search for and what I think about and what I do when I'm bored. And it's in buildings like these that the mathematical representation of me starts to take shape. Because these companies are starting to make connections with all that concentrated data. And they're building somewhat fictionalized digital versions of us all. And they're selling that mathematical being to other companies in the hope that the you made out of math closely enough matches the you that's made out of meat. So that these companies can make a few bucks off of what your meat body spends its attention on. We think of the internet as not really existing in the real world, but it does. Right here. And it's weird to stand outside of it all, unable to go in, knowing that inside a weird math version of me exists that I don't own. The Larry Wherever sort of exists in two places. The actual me, out here in North Carolina talking to a camera, and a digital me, the one encoded on this video, in there, somewhere. Thanks for watching.